You were talking about it before the show, Natty. Like, it really is sinking in that we're getting closer and closer to that last match with John Cena. Just a little over a month away before we say goodbye to John Cena in the ring. And I think it's really starting to set in for a lot of fans.
It's making me sad. I'm gonna come right out and say it. I love John. I think that John is just everything that is great about what we love about pro wrestling. He's loyal. Is he perfect? No, he's human. He's okay to say that. He inspires kids that are on their last legs, that are, he's the work that he's done alone with Make-A-Wish, like the way that he's changed little kids' lives who are fighting for their life. Like he's just a good person. He gives back. I mean, I'm seeing the stuff that he's been doing at the performance center. He's not just gone a day. He's gone several days in a row to talk to people and to really like let me pass on everything that I know about how to make it. Because it's very challenging when people ask me all the time, like, what do I have to do? What do I have to, I want to get into wrestling, or they're in wrestling, or they're in developmental, or they're in coming to train with us at the dungeon, or they're on SmackDown, they're on Raw, they're at the highest level, and they're still struggling. And if you like to get John Cena to be able to pass on that knowledge in the flesh, is he's been through everything. He's been through the highs and lows and everything in between, including he talks about he was almost fired at one point in WWE. But I just don't I love John, and I feel like sad that we're coming down to the end, because I'm like, we still he's still doing such great work. Like, I don't want it to be the end. And then I'm thinking of, we talked about this before about like the dream matches, but I love that John is openly saying, hey, like, I'm not eliminating anyone. Like, I want to work with guys on Raw, on SmackDown, in other places. I want to work with people at NXT. Like, he is universally loved and adored throughout the industry, and I just love that. Like, he's just very, very respected.
Yeah, it's going to be weird having a WWE without John Cena in it, because he's been such a big part of the foundation of this company. Listen, Natty, I talk about it with fans all the time. Fans loved the Attitude Era. And, the Attitude Era went to the extreme when it came to certain themes and things that happened on our TV. John Cena was the face of a company that was completely the opposite of the
Yes.
Attitude Era.
Yeah.
And it was very hard for fans to let that era go and accept a new generation. And John Cena had no problem doing it. And being one of the biggest faces in the company's history.
Well, and also the company, think about when he really started to rise in WWE, the company was going through a very difficult, tragic time with everything that happened surrounding,
Yes.
Chris Benoit. And it's not something that we talk about often. And I personally, because of how tragic it all was, it's a very, very hard topic. But John really helped WWE in such a massive way, because he really was able to bring a positive energy to the company and really shift the focus onto something new and fresh and different and create a positive diversion from again, during a very, very difficult time in the company. So like, he's just somebody that, you like, I'm so proud to have worked with him through the years. I'm so proud to have been on tours with John. I'm so proud to have known him as a friend, and he's still a friend. And here's the other thing, Dave. On a positive note, WWE and wrestling in general, all around the world, and I've been around every walk of life in this industry. It's like Hotel California. You can check out anytime you want, but you can never leave it. And so while this made these we were coming down to the wire of his last matches, John's always, always, always going to be part of our WWE family. Like, he's always going to be, he's embedded in it. He's always going to be a big part of it. He's very special to it. He's just like a guy that I understand too, like, why. I get it. Like, when he talks about not wanting to have kids, I totally get it. He said the other day, somebody asked him at like a signing. It was like again, I saw this on an Instagram reel, but he was at a signing and somebody asked him about having kids. And John said, kids are just, you got to give them attention. You got to raise them the right way. You got to give them everything. You want to give them, it's not about giving them stuff. It's about giving them your love and energy and attention.
Having the
Yeah.
time to do that.
And you got to be present for them, And so if John Cena's going around the globe granting the most ever make a wishes to kids that are fighting for their lives, that are dealing with terminal cancer and other terrible illnesses, he can't, he's saying like, I he's only one person. He can only give so much, but he doesn't want to bring a child into this world when he can't be present for them. And so I get that, because when you look at how much he gives back, um, there's just nobody that gives back the way that he does. And even with matches, like when John was a full-time active roster member in WWE, and we were on the same show, um, I remember John watching, he would sit at the monitor on the live events, because he was always on the live events, and pay-per-views, Ross, whatever show that he was on. Wherever John was booked and whatever show he was on, we have a big area in the backstage. It's like a talent viewing area. And so everybody sits there to kind of watch the show. You study the show, you watch the matches, you make sure that you're not going to do the same thing that somebody else did right before you. You watch them so that when somebody comes back, you can go, "Great job," or "Oh my gosh, are you okay?" Or it's a respect thing. When the show is going on, it really is respectful to watch people's matches. Unless you're filming something or doing something for work that you can't watch them. John made sure to watch every single talent's match. He would come back. The first match would be starting, and he would be, if he wasn't in the first match, whatever match he wasn't in, he'd be watching the show. And then the person would come back, and John would talk to them. He would give them advice. He'd give them feedback. He would ask them how it went, and he would just converse with them. He'd give them their time. He would give them his time and energy, which I said before, the most valuable thing that we can give anyone is our time. When somebody gives you their time, it's the most valuable thing they can give you. So John would take the time and watch. And I remember when I was feuding with Nikki Bella, he would give us so much advice. He would give us critique. He would say things that he liked. He would say, "Let's work on this," or "Why don't we start it this way?" Or like, he really cared. When we were filming Total Divas, John wanted to help us girls make that show a success, to the point where, like, he even put himself out there a lot. We all did, because we all wanted that show to be a success, but he was a huge part of that show's success because he made the time to film. And I remember being at his house many times when John would film with us. When TJ got injured, John one thing that John did that was amazing for us and for TJ's morale is, after TJ got out of the hospital, John took us out to dinner. He took us, we all went out to dinner together, and like he made TJ feel seen and heard, and like he wasn't forgotten, because sometimes when you get hurt, you just feel kind of isolated. He didn't have to do that during his crazy schedule, one of the busiest guys ever, but usually it's the busiest people that find a way to make the time. And that is John Cena.
And nobody's going to outwork John Cena. What do you think about the tournament? A lot of people speculating on who that last opponent was going to be for John Cena. Now that person has to earn
Yes.
that spot. What are your thoughts on the tournament?
And the tournament is very symbolic of John. He wants to have a lot of people included. He wants talent to get opportunities. He wants people to step up. I mean, it's going to be, I think everybody's going to be scratching and clawing and fighting, as they should be, because, to get the opportunity to face John Cena in his last match, it's got to be earned. And I think, I don't know. I mean, I'm seeing the list of names and people that are potentially going to be a part of it. Like, it's just, there's so many cool opportunities that are going to come from it. I mean, I'm seeing so many people wanting it to be Dominic.
Oh,
I just
so many. I mean,
I
I've taken so many calls from people that really are hoping it's Dom Mysterio.
I just there's something about Dom, Dave, that like it's like you're the son of one of the greatest professional wrestlers that's ever lived, Rey Mysterio. How in the hell do you define yourself outside of your dad being just this? I mean, Ray is, up, I'd say, he's really one of the best ever to do it. Not just luchador, but like one of the best professional wrestlers that's ever lived.
Yep.
Dominic has found a way to step outside of his father's shadow and become one of the most interesting, fascinating, and skilled. Like, to me, I watched him in Mexico, and he had this match with Dragon Lee. And I was like, they were doing, I mean, it was just crazy. But he had the crowd. Dominic had the crowd in the palm of his hands. And TJ and I were backstage. We were watching the match, and TJ goes, I don't even want to say it because he swore, he said the F word. He goes, ah. He goes, fuck. He goes, "Dominic's so good. He's so fucking good." Like, again, TJ, we're gonna bleep that out. TJ is so, he's very critical of the, like, he's a connoisseur of wrestling, and TJ was like watching it saying, "Dom is so fucking good. Like, he's so good." So I mean, listen, I know there's a ton of people vying for the spot, people in and out of the industry. But in and out of WWE, I should say. But I'm pulling for Dom. I the more I think about it, the more I'm like, Dom would be the wild card, and it would be this like first ever moment. I think it would be insane.
And he's going to be around for a while. And, I look back to Monday Night Raw where Dom's in the ring with his dad. And here's Rey Mysterio, Hall of Famer, the greatest luchador of all time, absolutely loved by the WWE Universe. And they're singing Dom's name. And you
Yes.
kind of see Ray kind of look around and, he's probably confused, but also probably proud of what his son has accomplished. But imagine that you're standing face to face with an icon and you have 10,000 fans singing your name.
It's crazy. It's in Mexico too. It's not just, well, here's the thing. It's like, you know, you could think like, oh, well, it's Mexico. Dom's his dad is they have this history with Mexico. Everywhere we go, people are freaking out over Dom. He's just got this cool vibe. He's got this cool energy. He's got this like he doesn't take himself too seriously, but he's just there's something about him that you want to like. I don't know what it is, Dave. But he's just like polarizing. But you don't. I don't feel like people really hate him. I feel like they're falling in love with Dom. He's got that. He does kind of have this weird little Eddie Guerrero vibe going on, where it's like he's just cool, and he's only getting better.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the fans are getting more and more into him where it's going to get to the point where they're going to have to turn him, right? Because the fans love
It's
him so much.
He's got a little bit of an Eddie vibe to him, and it's different. He's not afraid to get booed. He's just got a different energy, but he's also like, and I'm so gonna ruin Dom's mystique, but he's also behind the scenes. And a big thing about making it in the industry is that, not you're not gonna be everybody's best friend, but when talent and staff and management and producers and cameramen and the people that work security, catering, everywhere in the company. There's so many different areas in WWE. When they all come together and go, this kid is such a nice, respectful, like behind the scenes, the way he carries himself. Like if you know Dom in his real life, he's a class act. He's a really good person. So it's nice to see everybody going like, we want to help this guy rise up and rise to the occasion because, everybody wants to help somebody that they genuinely feel happy for and that they feel excited for and that they want to like see grow and do good things.